Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Money Cafe America, where we lower the pressure to constantly do more.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
And I'm Maya. Today we are looking at the exhaustion behind constant working.
I am already tired just hearing you say the word working.
I think half the cafe just nodded when you said that.
Seriously, you open your phone after a long shift. Someone yells at you to start a side business.
That is exactly what we are unpacking today. You are just trying to finally rest.
Right, I just want to sit on my couch, but that video makes me feel completely guilty.
That guilt is not actually yours. That is just internet noise trying to make you feel behind.
It works though. It makes my perfectly normal paycheck feel like a failure.
That feeling is incredibly common right now. People are burning out trying to monetize every single hour.
Yeah, it feels like having a regular job is not allowed anymore.
A regular job is absolutely enough. We do not need to turn our weekends into a second workplace.
So how do we actually turn off that mental pressure?
We can set some plain boundaries around our energy. We will look at a simple decision model today.
I definitely need that. My brain feels like it has too many tabs open.
We will also translate a few terms that make this hustle pressure seem worse than it is.
Okay, that helps. I am tired of feeling behind before the week even starts.
By the end of this conversation, you will have one clear way to protect your free time.
I am ready for that. I really want my time to just be mine again.
Let's look at that heavy feeling you get when you scroll past those side business videos after work. You are already tired from a full shift.
Yeah, and the internet just makes you feel lazy for sitting down.
Exactly. It feels like your normal paycheck is broken. You are supposed to fix it by sacrificing your evening.
That is exactly how it feels.
That is how the culture operates. It treats your time like a blank space that must be monetized. Think of your daily energy like a smartphone battery.
I mean, mine is usually flashing red by dinner.
Right. When your phone hits 10%, you plug it in. You do not open 3 heavy apps and try to render a video.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely try to render the video anyway.
A lot of people do. But running a second job on a drained battery does not create wealth. Treat your rest as a fixed expense.
Wait, say more about that. How is rest a fixed expense?
A fixed expense is something non-negotiable, like your rent. You have to pay it to keep the roof over your head.
Okay, that makes sense.
Rest is exactly the same thing. It is the rent you pay to keep your mind functioning.
Usually, I treat my rest like the loose change left over at the end of the day.
Which means you often get nothing at all. Share this with someone who is quietly stressed about feeling behind.
I need to remind myself of that battery idea every single week. The common advice is always to just push harder.
That is the most dangerous mistake people make with this pressure. They assume the only answer is to subtract sleep and add a second job.
Because that is what all the financial videos say. Just start an online store at midnight.
Exactly. But starting a second job when you are exhausted leads to bad decisions. You might spend money on a course you never finish.
I have definitely bought a late-night course that I never even logged into. I was just too tired to actually learn anything new.
That happens to a lot of people. You are trying to buy a shortcut out of exhaustion.
Yeah, but I end up just draining my actual checking account instead.
Exactly. The better way is to look at the income you already have. Manage the daylight hours differently before building a business in the dark.
You mean making the main job work better instead of adding a messy second one? I am not even sure what that looks like.
It starts with recognizing your limits. Sometimes the main financial issue is not your income level. Sometimes the core issue is just fatigue.
Okay, how does fatigue actually cost me money? I thought working more meant I would earn more.
That is the illusion. You might be too tired to plan meals, so you order expensive delivery. You might be too drained to track your spending.
Oof, that is incredibly accurate. The takeout bill is always higher when I am drained because I simply cannot cook.
That is the hidden cost. People think they need a side business to afford their life. Instead, they spend extra money just coping with exhaustion.
That is a huge shift. If I protect my rest, I might actually stop leaking money on those exhaustion purchases.
That is the goal. When you are fully charged, you make calmer decisions with the money you already earn. You do not always need more hours.
I really like that. It feels like the pressure is coming down. I do not need a second career. I just need to plug the phone in.
We talked about treating your rest like a non-negotiable fixed expense.
I love that idea, but protecting my time feels completely impossible some days.
It is hard because the pressure to work constantly is baked into our phones.
Exactly. My phone is always reminding me of something I should be earning.
Let's look at how that actually happens on a normal Tuesday evening.
Okay, I am ready.
You just finished your shift. You finally sit down to eat dinner.
And my brain is already completely fried from the day.
Right. Then your phone lights up with a message from your manager.
Oof, that literally happened to me 3 days ago.
What is your first instinct when you see that name on the screen?
I feel like I have to reply immediately to show I care.
Why do you feel that way? The official workday is over.
Because if I ignore it, I worry they will think I am slacking off.
That is the hustle culture trap, perfectly summarized in one moment.
Wait, really? Just answering a quick email during dinner is a trap?
Yes. The mistake is believing that sacrificing your personal evening proves your long-term value.
But sometimes, you do have to answer the message, right?
That is the limitation. If your specific job requires you to be officially on call, you answer.
Right. Sometimes it is an actual work emergency that needs attention.
But most of the time, it is just a routine question that can wait until morning.
Honestly, it usually is something tiny that does not matter tonight.
When you reply during dinner, you are just training them to interrupt your rest.
I never thought about it like that. I am setting my own bad boundary.
You are also draining the battery you desperately need for tomorrow.
Okay, but it feels really uncomfortable to just leave the message sitting there unread.
That is why the practical step is not about willpower. It is about friction.
What kind of friction do you mean?
Remove the work email app from your primary home screen.
Oh, that is actually a really simple move.
Or turn off the specific notifications for that app after a certain hour.
That way I do not even see the name pop up while I eat.
Exactly. You can protect your energy by just managing your screen settings.
I like that. It feels way more doable than formally arguing with my boss.
A different version happens when you are not even at your main job.
It sneaks in everywhere. Where does this one happen?
Let's talk about what happens when you finally get a free Saturday afternoon.
Those are rare for me, but they are absolutely amazing.
Imagine you spend 3 hours doing something you love, maybe baking or painting.
I actually like building small furniture pieces, just basic wooden stuff.
That is great. You finish a nice table. What does a friend say when they see it?
They immediately tell me I should start an online store and sell them.
Right there. That is the social pressure to monetize every single talent.
Yeah, they mean well. They are just trying to be supportive of my work.
They do mean well. But what happens to your brain when they say that?
I instantly feel like I am wasting time if I do not turn it into a business.
That is the exact problem. You take an activity that recharges your battery.
And I turn it into another job that drains it completely.
Precisely. You end up with a second workplace and 0 relaxing hobbies.
Wow, that hits really close to home. I actually tried selling a few pieces once.
How did it feel when you added money to the mix?
It was awful. I hated the deadlines. I stopped building things for 6 months.
Because rest is supposed to be completely free from financial pressure.
So what is the better way to handle that constant social pressure?
The practical step is to declare one activity officially profit-free forever.
Profit-free. I really like the sound of that. It takes the pressure off.
You make a personal rule that you will never accept money for this specific hobby.
Even if someone insists on paying me for a table?
Even if they offer. You can give things away as gifts, but no invoices.
That actually takes a massive weight off my shoulders. I can just build things.
There is a small catch, though. We have to be realistic about income.
I knew there was a catch. What is the limitation here?
The reality is that you might actually need extra income right now to survive.
Right. Paycheck to paycheck living is real. Sometimes you need cash.
If you truly need extra money, take a simple part-time job with set hours.
Instead of trying to turn my relaxing hobby into a stressful lifestyle brand.
Yes, keep your survival income separate from your recovery time.
That makes total sense. Protect the hobby at absolutely all costs.
That same pressure shows up somewhere else. It happens when we are completely alone.
I am almost afraid to ask, where does this final trap happen?
It usually happens late at night, right before you try to fall asleep.
Oh no, the late night scrolling trap. I know this one too well.
You are lying in bed, exhausted, scrolling through short financial videos.
And every video is someone telling me how they make passive income while they sleep.
Exactly. They tell you that you are losing money by just resting.
Yes, they make it sound incredibly easy. Just buy this software and get rich tomorrow.
What is your first instinct when you see those targeted videos at midnight?
Honestly, I usually click the link to see what the course costs.
Many people do. You feel behind financially, so you try to catch up in the dark.
I have definitely entered my credit card number while half asleep.
What were you actually buying in that moment? Was it really a business plan?
I thought I was buying a course on how to start a consulting business.
But you were exhausted. You were really just buying the feeling of sudden progress.
Oh, wow, that is exactly what it was. I never even finished the video lessons.
That happens to a lot of people. It is just an exhaustion purchase.
I was trying to buy my way out of feeling tired and behind.
Exactly. You spent hard-earned money on the pure illusion of a side hustle.
That stings a little, but it is deeply true. I bought a website domain once too.
We can stop that specific leak with one simple boundary.
I definitely need a boundary for my midnight brain. What is the move?
Here is a concrete action step you can try within the next 24 hours.
Okay, I am ready for the action step.
Implement a strict 24-hour pause on any business or hustle purchase.
So if I see a cool tool at night, I just wait?
Yes, you leave it in the shopping cart. You close the app. You go to sleep.
And then what happens the next day when I wake up?
If you still want to start that business at 2 in the afternoon, you can buy it.
But at 2 in the afternoon, I am usually busy working at my actual job.
Exactly. In the daylight, you realize you do not actually have the energy for it.
That is brilliant. The daylight totally changes the perspective on the purchase.
It protects your checking account from your own late-night guilt.
Are there any exceptions to that strict waiting rule?
The only limitation is if you are already actively running a real, functioning business.
Right. If I already have paying clients, I might just need to buy the software.
Yes, but for a brand new late-night idea, the pause is absolutely mandatory.
I can definitely do that. Just walking away from the phone sounds like a huge relief.
It saves you money, and it protects your crucial rest time.
I feel a lot more prepared to just log off tonight and actually sleep.
We just talked about putting limits on those late-night business purchases and keeping your hobbies completely free from invoices.
Right. just creating some daylight between my tired brain and my checking account.
It is all about protecting your energy battery. Let's test that idea on a different money situation.
Okay, I am ready. Throw the scenario at me.
Imagine your coworker asks you to join a weekend rideshare or delivery app.
That happens all the time. They always show me a screenshot of what they made last Saturday.
Exactly. They tell you it is easy money. How do you decide whether to sign up and drive with them?
Well, I would look at the extra money and see if it covers my grocery bill for the week.
I like that you are connecting the extra cash to a real, necessary bill like groceries.
But knowing how this conversation is going, I feel like I am missing a huge hidden cost there.
You are. You looked at the extra income, but you forgot to calculate the extra friction.
What kind of friction? Do you mean the cost of gas and car repairs?
That is part of it, but the deeper issue is the toll it takes on your physical energy.
Oh, right. Driving all Saturday means I start my main job on Monday completely drained and resentful.
Yes, you might make $100 extra, but you ruin your performance at your primary job.
That is a terrible trade-off. I could actually risk my main source of income because I am too tired.
That brings us to our first useful phrase for today. Let's look at opportunity cost.
I hear that phrase a lot. Does it just mean the money you miss out on?
That is the textbook definition. It is the value of the next best alternative you gave up.
Okay, how would you translate that into a normal working week?
The opportunity cost of driving all weekend is the rest you desperately needed to survive Monday morning.
So the cost is not just dollars. The cost is my sanity and my free time.
Exactly. Why does this matter? Because hustle culture pretends your extra time is just sitting there empty.
When really, that time was already doing a very important job. It was keeping me rested and sane.
Yes, ignoring the opportunity cost makes every exhausting side job look like pure, magical profit.
I am definitely going to use that phrase the next time someone tells me to start driving on weekends.
That brings up the next trap. Have you ever heard someone online talk about passive income?
Oh, constantly. Every single video promises that you can make hundreds of dollars while you sleep.
Let's define passive income in the real world. It means money earned with very little ongoing daily effort.
So things like renting out a spare room or earning interest on a high-yield savings account?
Yes, those are traditional examples. But the internet definition is dangerously misleading today.
They make it sound like you just click 3 buttons and a digital business runs itself forever.
Exactly. They slap that relaxing label on businesses that actually require massive, exhausting daily effort.
Right. Starting a dropshipping store is not passive at all. It is literally a second full-time job.
Why does this distinction matter for your daily stress?
Because I feel like a failure when my supposed sleep money actually requires 50 hours of miserable work.
Precisely. You feel stupid because the internet lied about the required energy.
That is a huge relief to hear out loud. Starting a business is naturally exhausting.
It really is. The final term we need explains what happens when you ignore your body's limits.
I have a bad feeling about this one. What is the final term?
Let's talk about burnout spending.
Wait, I do not think I have ever heard that officially defined, but the name alone hurts.
What does a Friday night look like when you have worked late every single day that week?
I am too tired to cook. I order expensive delivery and tip heavily out of guilt.
Do you buy anything else on those exhausted nights?
Usually something stupid online. I buy a shirt I do not need, just to feel better.
That is burnout spending. It is spending money simply to cope with the exhaustion of overworking.
Wow. So I work extra hours to make money, and then immediately spend that money just to recover.
That is the tragic loop. Your coping costs rise to match your extra income.
You basically run on a treadmill. and never actually get ahead financially.
Why does naming this term actually help you?
Because once I name it, I can stop blaming myself for lacking willpower on Friday nights.
Exactly. You do not lack financial discipline. You literally just lack sleep.
That changes everything. I am not a bad budgeter. I am just deeply tired.
Which means the cure is not a stricter, harsher spreadsheet. The cure is literally logging off and resting.
I see my free time as a financial shield. Resting actually protects the money I already have.
Let's put this into action with a new situation. Imagine you wake up to a completely empty Sunday morning.
That sounds amazing. A completely blank day with zero obligations is very rare.
Right. You are looking forward to doing absolutely nothing. Then your phone buzzes.
Okay, the piece is already broken. What does the message say?
An old friend wants to buy you coffee today. They want to pick your brain about a business.
Oh, I know exactly how that feels. It is flattering, but secretly exhausting.
Exactly. How do you handle that text without falling into the hustle trap?
Well, I would probably just go. Coffee only takes an hour, right?
That is the small mistake people make. You are forgetting the invisible cost of that hour.
Oh, wait. I am ignoring the opportunity cost of my own rest.
Yes, you are giving away the mental recovery time you desperately needed.
So even an innocent coffee meeting can drain the battery for Monday morning.
Precisely. You spend energy getting dressed, driving, and analyzing their business plan.
By the time I get home, my relaxing Sunday is basically over.
Try the scenario again. How do you answer them without giving away your energy?
I would say I would love to hear about it, but I cannot meet this weekend.
That is a great start. What else could you offer them instead of your Sunday?
I could tell them to email me the details, and I will read it on Tuesday.
That is perfect. You protect your rest while still being a supportive friend.
It keeps the Sunday completely blank. That is the actual priority.
How would you use this same protective boundary in your actual life this week?
I would probably use it on my own brain.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Sometimes I get a sudden, stressful work idea on a Saturday morning.
And your first instinct is to immediately open your laptop and start working.
Yes, I feel like I have to solve the problem before I forget it.
How would you apply the boundary to yourself in that exact moment?
I would just write the idea on a physical notepad.
And then, what do you do with the notepad?
I leave it on the desk and walk away. I refuse to open the computer.
That is a brilliant boundary. We can turn that into a simple listener action plan.
I am definitely ready for a clear plan. I really need the structure.
First, pick one day this upcoming weekend and declare it a zero hustle zone.
Okay, no side projects and no checking work emails for that entire day.
You have to protect that day like a critical business appointment.
I usually let Saturday turn into a stressful catch-up day for work tasks.
That stops this weekend. Second, physically hide the tools that make you feel guilty for resting.
So I should put the work laptop in a drawer, completely out of sight.
Yes, visual triggers will ruin your rest. Put the heavy business books away too.
That is smart. If I see the laptop, I will feel guilty for not typing.
Third, schedule one block of time purely for recovering your energy.
You mean actively scheduling time to just do absolutely nothing?
I mean choosing an activity that requires zero productivity and zero profit.
Just reading a fiction book or taking a slow walk around the block.
Yes, that leads us to an important question for you to answer in the comments.
What is the question we want them to answer today?
What is one specific activity you do that is completely profit-free?
That is a great question. You can write just one word in the comments.
Name the quiet hobby or daily moment that actually recharges your battery.
You could type reading, walking, baking, gardening, or just sleeping.
Your answer might remind someone else that it is okay to step off the treadmill.
I already feel much calmer about my own weekend. I am definitely hiding my laptop tonight.
If you decide to answer that comment question today, keep your answer incredibly simple.
It really helps to remember that protecting your quiet downtime actually protects your energy.
That is the most important takeaway. A normal working life is absolutely enough.
You definitely do not need to turn your entire weekend into a stressful digital business.
Simply sitting on your couch and resting is not a financial failure.
It is actually the smartest investment you can make for your own health.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today at Money Cafe America.
We really hope this conversation helps you build a much calmer week.
I'm Maya, and please take care of yourself until we talk again.
And I'm Ethan. Take it one day at a time, and goodbye for now.